Look at this, a wild scene this weekend in Idaho, resulting in conspiracy to riot. Charges for more than 24 people. Police say they were found packed into the back of a U-Haul truck with riot gear near an Idaho Pride event. Authorities say the men are members of a white supremacist group, Patriot Front. Evidence collected so far appears to show the group was planning to riot in several parts of the downtown area. NewsNation's Ryan Bass is live for us tonight. Exactly how many people were arrested, Ryan?
31 in total, Kelsey, and as you said, those members were reportedly a part of that group called Patriot Front, which is a white nationalist hate group. Now, according to police, they were planning to riot in downtown northern Idaho yesterday where an annual Pride event was being held, but they were stopped, all thanks to a concerned citizen who alerted the authorities about the potential confrontation before it even began.
They came to riot downtown, and that's why they've been booked appropriately.
Idaho authorities foiled what could have been a hostile situation yesterday near a Pride event in Coeur d'Alene, arresting 31 members of the white supremacist group Patriot Front after they were found piled in the back of a U-Haul truck with riot gear. Police were tipped off by what they called a concerned citizen who said they witnessed what looked like a little army. The group hopped into a U-Haul in the back of a hotel parking lot, wearing masks, shields, and shin guards, with at least one smoke grenade and what seemed to be an operations plan, according to police. All 31 members were charged with conspiracy to riot. The Pride in the Park event brought several people to the downtown area that night to celebrate LGBTQ+ pride. Police believe the men, who were wearing face coverings, insignias, khaki pants, and shirts that read "Reclaim America," were planning a head-to-head confrontation with people attending the parade and riots in several other spots in the city.
I would gladly arrest 31 individuals who are coming to riot in our city for a misdemeanor rather than have them participate in some sort of seriously disruptive event, which is exactly what they were planning.
Police said most members of the white supremacist group that were arrested live out of state. Only one was from Idaho. The rest were from Washington, Arkansas, Colorado, Illinois, Oregon, South Dakota, Texas, Virginia, and Wyoming, per reports. Tom Rousseau, the national leader of the extremist group who formed the Patriot Front in 2017, was among those arrested, according to local county jail records. Police Chief White said they were able to pull the van over about 10 minutes after the call came in. They beefed up police presence around the Pride event, saying they were aware of online threats coming in. That extra help and a brave citizen stepping up, police say, is what saved the situation from becoming much, much worse.
For me personally, I don't think this would have been as successful had we not had one extremely astute citizen who saw something that was very concerning to them and reported it to us.
Now, the men are scheduled to be arraigned in court tomorrow, Kelsey. As for that Northern Idaho Pride event, it is actually the signature event in Northern Idaho. They put on that Pride Festival each and every year. This had actually been the first year that they had done it after a 2-year hiatus due to COVID-19.
Ryan, what do we know about the group Patriot Front? How were they formed?
Yeah, we heard a lot about them today, obviously, with this story breaking. And Patriot Front, according to the Anti-Defamation League, which tracks a lot of these extremist organizations, is a far-right group and a Texas-based white supremacist group that was formed after the Unite the Right rally. That was a very deadly rally in in Charlottesville, Virginia, back in 2017. Now, their founder, Rousseau, who we just talked about in this piece, is actually a former Boy Scout and a former high school journalist. He founded this group when he was just a teenager. I do want to note also, Kelsey, that local authorities did say multiple far-right organizations, not just Patriot Front, were targeting this Pride in the Park rally that was held in northern Idaho, but they were prepared with more presence of police. They even partnered with the FBI to make sure they were prepared for anything that came their way. Certainly glad that they did so.
Ryan Bass, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.